Hi everyone, welcome back to PDQ Today I want to show you a Google tool that I've not really done a lot with because the original interface I found to be very difficult to use and probably more difficult to explain, and that is Google Groups. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Google Group is, it is just what it says. An e-group that you can use to make groups that are as basic as just a mailing list or as involved as a searchable discussion board. And to show you how to do that, today I'm just going to show you how to create a new group and to start entering people. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my Google Apps and I'm going to scroll down to the groups icon. And that's going to open this. Now, before I get too deep into this, I want to show you, I mentioned the discussion board. And this is a group here that's, you see it says external. So it's outside of ACS, but it's a group of which I'm a member. And it is an apps user group, a national group for Google using Google Apps. And you can see here that there are a lot of users in it, and they have all posted things to the rest of the group. And then others can respond. So it's a good place to submit questions that you may have for the group and let the group respond. What's nice about this, though, is once you start using it at this level, you can search the conversation. So in this case, I have a bunch of Google Apps topics that people have suggested, and let's say I have a question of my own, and I want to search and see if that question has already been asked or covered. So I'm going to go up here to the conversations, and in this case, I'm just going to type slides for Google Slides. And then when I hit enter, you'll see that the list changes, and now it's showing all of those discussions that have to do with Google Slides. And if I want to narrow this down a little bit further, I can put slides as a subject, and then under has the words, I'm going to look for slides transitions. And you'll see this will narrow it down even further. So there it gets it down to one post. So that's just an example of kind of the elaborate way you can use groups. But just let me show you how to create a group. I'm going to go back to my groups here to start with, and this again shows you all of my groups. I'm going up here to the Create Group window, or tab I should say. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a group name. Now I'm going to call this a test group, but you'll notice down here that as soon as I start typing in a name, it will populate automatically an email address. So let's just call this Test PDQ group. Now if I were to put spaces in here, it doesn't like spaces in the email, so it will substitute that with a dash. Now, although you can't see the whole word, it adds the suffix groups in here. This is something you can't change. This is new in the newer update. So your group email will be testpdqpdgroups@acsc.net, and then I'll type in a description. And then I will click the next button. So now I've got the first part set up. Now you've got some privacy settings here. Now I'm going to scroll over this first because there are 3 levels of member in these groups. One is a group member, which is just the standard member of any group. A group manager has some different rights than the group members, and then the group owners have further rights as well. So some of these here, these are things that I want to set as settings. Anyone in ACSC, who can search for the group? Can it be the entire organization, meaning ACSC, or just the group members? And then as far as who can join the group, only invited members. If I want, all of mine are invited members. Or anyone in the organization can ask to join, or anyone in the organization can join. And then whoever you want to view conversations, typically that will be all group members. Who can post. Now, a lot of times if you're going to use this as just a mailing list, you're only going to want the group managers, so you just switch that. And then who can view the members, again, probably manager or an owner, so we're going to change that. And then we're going to switch over to next. And the next window is where you add members. So up here under the group members, anyone you want to be a member, you start typing in names and it will fill in from your contacts list. So let me just add, let me ask Tech Help Desk. So here's the ACSC Tech Help Desk. I'll add that address to it. Now anyone I want to be a manager of this, I'm going to type in the manager's name here and I'm going to type in my personal email because I want it to be a manager. Now this will not work when I hit the next create group because this is outside of ACSC and it won't allow me to add that. And then I can add more owners than this if I want. I'm not going to add any more owners right now. And then I can add a welcome message to anyone that I invite to the group. So I'll type in something real quick here. And then I would, under the subscription, anyone who is on this list, they can choose to, or you can choose how you want them to get the emails. They can either get a notification with each email, a digest, or abridged emails, or to receive no updates. And then this option here will allow you in another window to add members of the group directly. And I'll show you how to do that in another video. So once I do this, I would click Create Group. Once I click Create Group, and I'm going to go back and delete this later, and you can see it says an error occurred because the one member was added successfully. The error is going to be because I put somebody in there that wasn't in the group. And then if I go to group, actually let me go back real quick. Man, it's not going to do that. If I go down here to the test PDQ, you can see that the address for this group is testpdqgroups@acsc.net. What you can do from this point is when you want to send an email to the group, you simply type in this one address and it will send an email to the entire group. That's how you set up groups. In a future video, I'll show you how to add members and some of the things you can do with that, but that's a great place to start. This new interface is much more intuitive than the original interface, so I think you can, now that you know how to set up a group, you can go in there and kind of look around and see the settings that you want and how you want them set up. Hope this is a good place for you to start with Google Groups, and as always, have a great day.